Hello and welcome to the United Stand, Manchester United versus Manchester City derby preview. It is ram-packed. We've got so much to talk about. A little bit of transfer stuff that might shock you at the end. Mourinho's interview from today, which is quite shocking. The actual game itself. Loads and loads and loads to talk about. And I'm actually quite relaxed because if you did see the last live stream where I messed up the audio, and hopefully I haven't done it again, no, it should be working fine. The drugs do work. The drugs for the back really just make me quite relaxed. I don't get stressed. I'm not condoning that. That's what did Michael Jackson in, isn't it? Painkillers. But on a serious note, well, I suppose Michael Jackson dying's quite serious. Pretty bad. That's a bad joke. But yeah, the back's getting better. As you can tell, I really struggle to move my neck, but we're comfortable with cushions. So let's crack on. And I really do... First of all, I just want to say this. With the last couple of previews, we've brought this new thing in where people who are at the game are sending in footage at Old Trafford and giving the worldwide fans a little bit of a view of what it's like. Well, we've got a little bit of an exclusive. I know it's not at Old Trafford, but it's at Man City. We're at Man City on Thursday for the derby at the Etihad, and somebody has, kindly, a Man City fan, has sent us some footage in to get a bit of a feel as to what it will be like, what it's like at City week on week. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Really exciting this is. It's not going to work, is it? Here we go. Here we go.
So see, basically this is their seating area, so it's the best seat in the house. Basically, Manchester City think that if you're willing to pay for a seat with the director's box, you can actually...
So there you go, a typical day at a City game for you at the old Etihad. But massive game for Manchester United on Thursday. And I tell you what, something I'm going to go to in a minute, but in relation to Mourinho versus Pep, I think he's put him well and truly back in his box this season. It was built up so massively, wasn't it, around August time, and when we played them in September at Old Trafford and they beat us and the press were all up Pep's backside and, oh, this is the man, he's going to run away with the title, you know, fantastic football, the best football we've ever seen in the Premier League. And lo and behold, business end of the season, all Man City are doing is battling for fourth, third if they're lucky. I mean, no negative press about Pep at all. He spent more than anybody else last summer. He inherited a team that wasn't that bad, and he's took them backwards, hasn't he? He's absolutely took them backwards. I mean, I'm not Joe Hart's biggest fan. He's a clown. But to replace Joe Hart, a very good Premier League keeper, with that Claudio Bravo, and arrogantly think that you can play tiki-taka nonsense in the Premier League and win a title, that's Pep Guardiola all over. And I'm not just saying that now. If you've been following the United Stand for the last 2 years, you'll know that I've always said it, and especially last summer, that Pep will get found out. He was a good manager with the world's best player with Messi. At Bayern Munich, he failed just because he won the German league in a one-horse race. He failed. He didn't win the Champions League. He inherited a team that had just won the Champions League and the German league, and he never won the Champions League there. And he's going to struggle at City. He's been found out by Conte, not just and Mourinho has bettered him. Mourinho has bettered him with a harder job. You know, what Mourinho has inherited is Van Gaal and Moyes' sloppy seconds. I mean, horrible saying, horrible to inherit it. And I liken Madrid, what Mourinho's doing, to what he did at Real Madrid. Real Madrid hadn't won the title for 3 years. They were a mess, and it took him time. It took him the first season to sort it out, and the second season he'll win the title. And Mourinho, it's been difficult, but he's done a fantastic job. He's already won a cup. He's bettered Pep on every single every single lesson. The football's been better. His signings have been better. We've won a trophy. We might win 2 trophies, and we could well end up finishing higher than them in the table, despite having played more games and having more challenges and more injuries. So Mourinho has absolutely obliterated Pep. No matter what happens on Thursday night, he really has. Let's talk about Thursday night, though, before we talk about some of Mourinho. Oh, what have I done there? What have we done there? That's not what we want to do. Oh, I tell you what, the system is broken today. I'm back. Oh, God. It doesn't matter, though, because I'm on the back pain and the drugs. I still feel relaxed. I'd normally be going mad. Please drop a like on the video if you're enjoying it. Over 100 of you are. But let's first talk about the game. I mean, how Manchester United are not favourites for this game, I do not know. We are unbeaten in this league where anybody can beat anybody. We are unbeaten in the Premier League since October. I'm actually starting to enjoy that. I know a lot of us said, oh, too many draws, it's not an enjoyable unbeaten run. But to be fair, any unbeaten run in the Premier League is there to be applauded. And yes, we did draw too many games, but those draws should have been wins. So we still would have been unbeaten. Going to Manchester City, who are out of form, I don't know what the situation is with Silva and Aguero, but going to that game, unbeaten since October. With the form we're in, I cannot believe, I am absolutely stunned that we are such outside favourites to win the game. I think we'll win it. I'm going to give you my lineup in a moment, but as you'll see along the bottom of the screen, we are doing this thing at the moment where if you have a bet through Bet365, the video description, second paragraph, the link is there. Just place a bet with Bet365 through that link. Email your bet slip, a picture of it to the email address in there, and you'll go in the draw to win a signed Sir Bobby Charlton shirt, which is a collector's item. I'm sure you'll all agree. But also at half time on the watch along on Thursday, we're giving away two winners will get a £25 bonus bet. A £25 bonus bet at half time. All you've got to do is get a bet on Manchester United versus Manchester City in before the game on Thursday through the link, video description, second paragraph, and you could win too. And considering only 10 people signed up for it over the weekend, if there's only 10 again, you've got a very good chance of winning a £25 bonus bet. So, what are my tips for it? Let's have a quick look, because I need to have a little bit of a break. Okay, so if you click the video description, it will take you to this page. Obviously, you need to click bet now and sign yourself up. And once you've done all that, go to English. And you want to go down to soccer. You want to go to English Premier League. And we want to go Manchester City versus Manchester United. And as you can see, Manchester United decimal, I always put it to decimal, Manchester United to win 4.20. So if you put a tenner on there, you'll win 32 quid profit and get your tenner back. That is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Get on it. That is my tip. And it's a good value tip as well. So obviously, you've got to be over 18 to gamble and bet responsibly. But that is our tip. If you want to go in the Sir Bobby Charlton signed shirt draw and the bonus half-time 2 bets we've got for £25, that's our tip. Manchester United to win 4.20. Absolutely massive. I think the value's there. Absolutely. But if you fancy something a little bit safer, not necessarily the result, I would go with Marcus Rashford to score at any time. 3.40. He's playing up front against Man City's defence. 3.40 to score at any time. Even if we lose, I still think Rashford will score. Put a tenner on that. 24 quid profit and your tenner back. So that's my 2. Maybe have a little pop back there when the video's complete and sign yourself up and pop those bets on. But I'm absolutely amazed by those 2 odds, to be honest. Really am. So how do I think Manchester United will win the game on Thursday? Well, I want to talk about Mourinho's comments on his Sky Sports interview, which are amazing today. But how do I think Manchester United will line up, first of all? Obviously, I think De Gea will start in goal, Valencia, Bailly, Blind, and I think he'll play Luke Shaw. I think he didn't play Luke Shaw at the weekend because he was keeping him out. Some people think Luke Shaw's still going to be sold in the summer and he won't actually start. It will be Darmian. I think it will be Luke Shaw. Midfield 3, I think it's got to be Carrick, Herrera and Pogba. Carrick obviously didn't play at the weekend. I think both games he's played recently, especially Anderlecht away, he was superb. So play your best midfield 3. It's still Carrick, Herrera and Pogba for me. I know Fellaini's been doing okay at the moment, but Man City are not a tall side. I agree with what he did against Burnley at the weekend, because we've got a small back 4 with Blind and Ashley Young played, didn't he? So you put Fellaini in front of it to beat the high ball. Man City are not a tall side, and if you remember the game from Old Trafford, we played Fellaini in the midfield and he absolutely got mullered by quick movement. One thing Pep's side do is move the ball around the ground very quickly, and that, if Fellaini has any strength, he's certainly not quick and he's not mobile. I wouldn't put Fellaini anywhere near this game. I think it gives the advantage to City because he's not good on the ground. So my midfield 3 with Carrick, Herrera and Pogba, Mkhitaryan on the right, Rashford up front, and boom, I'm going to shock you, I would actually play Ashley Young or Wayne Rooney on the left and put Martial on the bench, for the simple reason I don't really want to see Martial and Rashford starting at the same time at the moment, because I think they complement each other better. If Rashford's had a bad hour or he's ran himself into the ground, give Martial the last half an hour up front. I want to see them two share the number 9 role. I don't really want to see Martial out on the left. I think use those two as strikers and we can win this game. That's how I would do it. How do we beat them tactically? Well, Man City like to move the ball out from the back, so we've got to press from the front. So I think that playing Ashley Young or a Lingard or a Rooney on the left, Mkhitaryan on the right and Rashford up front, they're going to have to get through a lot of running without the ball. Man City are a possession team. They like to play from the back. We need to press them. So subs are going to be very important, which is why I would put Martial on the bench. Maybe play Rashford for 60, 70 minutes, then bring Martial on for the last 20 minutes, half an hour. We've got to press them. They always predictably pass out of the back because they can't hit a long ball because they'll lose it. So they like to pass out the back. So we've got to press them high up the pitch as a midfield and as an attack and force them to make mistakes. Their confidence is low. I'll be amazed if Silva and Aguero start. So that's two of their best players out straight away. If we press them high up the pitch, I think we'll win this game. But we need to be energetic, and you can't carry slow players. So personally, I wouldn't play Fellaini anyway, but I wouldn't play him because he's not really that mobile. If we press them high at the pitch, we'll beat them. And I think for us, it's got to be direct, not route one, because that's not the way I want to see Manchester United play. But hit the channels, get Rashford running into the channels, and go at them. You know, Pogba. If I was Pogba, I'd be saying run at them as many times as you can. Same with Mkhitaryan, same with Rashford. Let's not try and pass our way through City because you know that plays into the hands of Pep and his tiki-taka nonsense. We need to be fast pressing them, and we need to move the ball fast and get at them. Don't let themselves set, because when Man City haven't got the ball, a bit like Barcelona, they form these triangles and they press. If you move the ball quick enough and direct enough, they can't do it. So that's how I would beat Man City. My score prediction, I can see it being quite a high-scoring game. I could see a conservative would go 2-1. I'm going to go 3-2 Manchester United. Again, if you fancy another bet, I didn't see what the odds were. Both teams to score looks good to me. I just want to have a look at some of Mourinho's comments today from his... Sorry. I'll be with it. It's just my back. I'm not in agony. It's just I have to breathe a bit, and there's a muscle in the right side of my back that hurts. But so Mourinho today said that a very open interview with Sky Sports. Not really. I think he's doing his presser tomorrow, so we'll update you with that about the actual game itself. But there's similarities with Mourinho with what he's done, as I said before. I think I said before on this video that with Real Madrid, he took over Real Madrid. They hadn't won the title for 3 years. Manchester United haven't won the title for 3 years, and they had a lack of confidence and a lot of issues. And Mourinho went in there and sorted the problems out. And he said that there are similarities with Manchester United. I mean, the job that Pep's inherited at Man City and the job that Jose's inherited at Manchester United, they're poles apart. Manchester United is inherited Moyes and Van Gaal's crap, and Pep inherited Pellegrini, who basically got sacked because they didn't win the title last year. They didn't have a great season, but he had won the title. I think they're a better team under Pellegrini, to be honest. I've not been impressed by them under Pep with the players that he's got. I think people like De Bruyne and Aguero have gone backwards from being two of the best players in the Premier League. But talking about Mourinho, he was quite open about this criticism he's had of players this year, specifically like your Mkhitaryan's, your Luke Shaw's, your Martial's, and he said, look, this is me. This is how I am. I don't criticise Marcus Rashford because even when he plays bad, I know he's giving me 100%. But with other players, and he didn't name Luke Shaw and Martial, but he was referring to them, I moan at them because I know they're not giving everything and I know they can give more. And that's not for everybody to suddenly jump on Luke Shaw or Martial's back and say you're not trying hard enough, because I think what he's actually saying is, look, they're trying, but I know they can give more. When I look at Marcus Rashford, I see a 19-year-old lad who's giving absolutely everything he can and he's learning his way. When he looks at people like Luke Shaw and Anthony Martial, they're probably applying themselves in training, but they're not making the right decisions. They're not fulfilling their talent. I think people are falling into this trap where Martial and Luke Shaw just can't be asked, and that's not really how I read what Mourinho's saying. I think what Mourinho is saying is Luke Shaw and Martial and Mkhitaryan before them, they're not fulfilling their talent. They're not making the right choices that Mourinho wants them to make in a Manchester United side. And maybe Martial is just doing exactly what he did under Van Gaal last year. But what he was doing under Van Gaal is not what Mourinho wants a left-sided midfielder to be. He wants his left-sided midfielder to be expressive up front, but also very hard-working, which under Van Gaal, Martial didn't have to be because he was one of those free players. So you can see it's nothing to do with laziness. It's just to do with those players have got to apply themselves the way Mourinho wants them to. So I would back him with that. I haven't got any issue with that. Did he say anything else? He did. He said there are better years to come. there are better years to come for Manchester United. This year can be a great, he said, it would be absolutely amazing if we win the Europa League and we're playing the Champions League winners in August in the Super Cup. He said that would be an amazing achievement for us from this season, which is an exciting thing. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago that if we win the Europa League, we get that game in August, which will be nice. And we can build on that Champions League and hopefully go for the title next year. But he spoke openly about better years to come at Manchester United, and I do agree with that. I think we are in a bit of a Russian roulette situation where we've just got to get Champions League. It will make such a big difference to the summer, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But it's not a foregone conclusion. I do think if we win at City on Thursday, it will really give us a massive chance of getting top 4 against all odds. I think the Europa League's there to be won, but if we get 1 or 2 more injuries, we're in big trouble. But if we come out of this season with Champions League football, I think it will be amazing. When we look back on this season at the end of May on the United stand, as we always do, and we're all there, I think whatever happens, and we don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 weeks, we will all look back on it and go, it's been a challenge this season. We've had big ups, we've had a lot of downs, we've wasted a lot of points, we've been unlucky, we've had bad refereeing decisions, it's taken time for people to settle in. It's been a challenging season and we forget that. But I'm really, there's aspects of this season that I've struggled with, but at the moment I'm just really enjoying it. I feel that of all United fans as well. We know it's going to be difficult, but I think everybody's enjoying it at the moment. Everybody's battling, and everyone's backing everybody. We've all got players that we probably think shouldn't be at the club, but at this moment in time for the next 6 weeks, it's that siege mentality I keep talking about. Your Rooneys, your Fellainys, your Phil Jones if he can get back, your Smallings. Everybody's got issues with different sort of players and whether they should be, but I don't detect it anymore. The people who don't like Rooney, the people like me who just would like Fellaini to be sold, the people who don't like Jones or Smalling, everyone's coming together and there isn't any negativity, which is great. And it reminds me of those, when it gets to this stage of the season, you need that. So very exciting and very positive that Mourinho said there's better years to come, because I believe there is. I think we'll win the title next year. So, very quickly, let me just wrap up on some transfer news, because there's always transfer news, but we needed to do the preview tonight. The big story today was Bernardo Silva from Monaco. Portuguese lad, I think he's 22, maybe 23. I think he's 22. Little magician. They call him the new Messi in Monaco. Well, I wouldn't, Messi at 22 was pretty much, probably about as good as he is now, really. Very good player. So to liken him to that's unfair. But we have been linked to him a few weeks ago, and it's popped up again. It's come from France, and it's also been mentioned in The Sun that we'll get him for 42.5 million. Now, I ridiculed that on Twitter this afternoon because he has got 3 years left on his contract. He's one of the best talents in European football, and we think we're going to get him from Monaco for 42.5 million. I can't see that happening. I think 50 to 60 million they might start talking. But it's interesting with him because we have been mentioned around him a couple of times, and a lot of people would say, well, if we get him, what does that mean for Mata? But if you assume that Rooney's going, Zlatan's going, we've got Rashford and Martial sort of as strikers, you bring another striker in to play with them, and then you've got Mkhitaryan, Mata, Lingard, Bernardo Silva. The one player it does jeopardise, I think, would be Griezmann, unless we're going to use Griezmann as the forward with Mkhitaryan, with Martial and Rashford. So nobody knows what's going to happen with Manchester United this summer. I predict we will get Griezmann, but that doesn't mean that we won't get Bernardo Silva. So one worth looking out for. If you've seen him for Monaco, he is a little wizard. I think he'll get better and better, and I think he would settle in the Premier League quite quickly. I think you look at people like David Silva, Juan Mata. He's not that sort of player. He's a bit more skillful and quicker than that, but I think he'd settle in well. I think we'd all welcome at Manchester United, so he was well worth mentioning. The other one I wanted to mention is Donnarumma, who we've mentioned before, the young AC Milan goalkeeper. A lot of people feel that David De Gea will leave Manchester United this summer. If he is going to go, I'd miss this, and I like Donnarumma. I think Donnarumma would remind me, if we signed him, of when we signed De Gea, in that he is the next big thing. He's the next big goalkeeper, and it's whether Mourinho would want a young goalkeeper. Maybe to use Romero a bit more and just use him, settling him in, because remember De Gea's first season, he was panned by the press. He made a few mistakes. We all backed him as fans, but typically the press are looking for to get on anything United related, aren't they? But it worked out, and Sir Alex Ferguson had confidence in becoming one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and now he is. And I think Donnarumma would be the same. But a lot of people want Oblak. Some people are mentioning Kasper Schmeichel, which is just bloody ridiculous. But if De Gea goes, and Donnarumma is very interesting because he's got more appeal than De Gea. Draughty Devil said this a couple of months ago. He's got Galactico appeal, Donnarumma, to be like a real, you don't really get it with goalkeepers that often, a real superstar goalkeeper that, would have worldwide appeal. So I think Donnarumma would be the sort of player that Manchester United wanted to sign. But the really interesting thing is that I'm going to get to in a long-winded way, and I'd not realised this, his contract's up in 2018. So like Alexis Sanchez, like Messi, like Ross Barkley, his contract's up in 2018. And also, as we do know, his agent is Mini Raiola. Mkhitaryan's agent, Pogba's agent, Zlatan's agent, had a fantastic relationship with Manchester United last year. I'm sure he'll fancy a bit of the old United Wonga this year. Donnarumma, AC Milan are pretty much powerless to do anything if he wants to come to United. Yeah, they can dig their feet in, but in January he can speak to anybody for free, and he goes for free. So if Donnarumma says to AC Milan, I want to go this summer, they're going to have to sell him, and you'd probably get him for around £20 million, which, because he's only got a year left on his contract, he's probably worth 30. But because he's only got a year left on his contract, it suddenly makes that deal a hell of a lot more possible. Obviously, De Gea's got to go, than I thought before. I hadn't realised that he's only got a year left on his contract. So, very, very interesting. Let's have a look at some of your comments. I feel like Man United just lost. I must really hate Chelsea and most of all Costa. I presume Chelsea are winning. Schmeichel Jr. Obviously, Peter Schmeichel's got a weird relationship with Manchester United. I think he's the best goalkeeper we've had in my lifetime, but obviously went and played for City, so he gets a bit of stick. But Kasper Schmeichel's not good enough for Manchester United, pure and simple. Mark, thoughts on the Griezmann news? We did a video on Griezmann last night, so unless anything else is broken about Griezmann, which I'm not aware about, and you're killing me, Callum, making me reach forward and type. Let's have a look. Enter. No, we reported that last night, didn't we? We are. God. So I don't want to moan at you all. I just had a pang there, a pang of pain. There's nothing to report on Griezmann. We did the video last night. If you missed it, go and watch the first 5 minutes because there's nothing new to report. Manchester United still in the box seat. Oblak is the goalkeeper I would take, Darth Vader. If we're talking about the head, Oblak's the one I would want. But we won't get two players from Atletico Madrid, and if we want Griezmann, we won't get Oblak as well. But Oblak is the perfect. The thing about Oblak is he's experienced. The thing about Donnarumma is he's still young and developing, and do you want that experienced replacement, which I think Mourinho probably will want. Griezmann is overrated, says Jake Holden, and Pogba and Rakitic sounds good, says Roy Martin, and De Gea won't leave, says Nitai. It's not what we're hearing, mate. I hope you're right. Shaka Phillips, Mark, when are you doing a Q&A video? Good idea, we could do one of those. Not tonight, though. Van Dijk, says somebody I can't pronounce. But yeah, I like Van Dijk. I do like Van Dijk. Not back from injury yet, is he? Thoughts on Janusaj, says Lee Duran. Not a lot. If he comes back, I'll be absolutely gutted. He's just not good enough. He is deadwood, and we need to get rid of them sort of players. Pereira's the one who's got to come back and be part of the team, not Janusaj. Tyrone Williams is right. Atletico Madrid have so much talent to choose from. It's unbelievable. Talking of which, we've got a transfer show tomorrow night for you. In fact, I've just had the link from Draughty, so I know who we're talking about tomorrow. Very excited. We'll leave you that for tomorrow. I've also got a big announcement for you tomorrow. If you love the United stand, there's two big announcements you're going to really like tomorrow night, so don't miss it. We'll be live at 8:30. But this is the Manchester. I'm slurring my speech now. I need to get some more painkillers. The Manchester United versus Manchester City derby is done. I've just got to leave you with a bit more of.
So basically, this is their seating area, so it's the best seat in the house. Basically, Manchester City think that if you're willing to pay,
that's what you get to see at Man City every week. Brilliant, isn't it? But we will have some Manchester United footage for you for the preview for Swansea. for Sunday. But yeah, I can't wait for the derby. Really looking forward to it. We need to win it. Very exciting. Yeah, and I tell you what, like I said, if you do fancy a dabble, make sure you sign up in the video description, second paragraph through the Bet365, and get on United at 4.20. I mean, I've never seen that. I think it's bloody ridiculous. 4.20, a tenner, you get 32 quid profit if United win, or get on Rashford to score at any time at 3.20, 22 profit. I can't believe it. They're not even enhanced odds either. We haven't even asked Bet365 to do those. That's what they've put up. Absolutely unbelievable. We're beaten since October. We're playing really well. Man City have got no confidence, and we're massive to go and win. And we won there last year. I can't believe it. Absolutely brilliant. And remember, if you do sign up through that video description link, you go in the draw automatically to win the Sir Bobby Charlton signed shirt. And also at half-time on the watch-along, we're giving away those two. So there'll be two winners, £25 bonus bets. So get on that. Thanks everyone for watching. Remember to drop us a like. Thanks for all the messages everyone's been sending about the back. Really great. I mean, because I'm just so bored. I'm just lying around all day, and then I get a lift downstairs, and I sit in my chair, and I'll get a lift back up. But it's really boring. But I'd go spare if I didn't do this. So thanks everybody for all the support, and remember to keep getting involved in the United Stand. I'll be back tomorrow night at 8:30. Back. You see what I like? Should be back. I'm off to the doctors tomorrow, and couldn't get in the doctors today. Ridiculous. That's the UK National Health Service for you. They said you can come at 6 o'clock tonight if it's an emergency. I said, well, I don't think I'm not having an heart attack. I'm not taking someone's spot, but can't even get in. Agony. Can't get in. Ridiculous. Should keep that for my own channel really. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Really enjoy it. Don't miss tomorrow night. 1, because it's a really good transfer show. 2, because we've got 2 really big surprises for you if you love the United Stand. So join us for that tomorrow. Thanks everyone for watching. Please remember to share the video. Tell all your friends about the United Stand and all that jazz. And thanks for everybody watching. Really excited. Can't wait for Thursday. See you all soon.